just different.
I am the world changer, coded by the blue storm. My number is 19, the power of all number. I am the master alchemist, the force behind the philosopher's stone. Skilled at the art of transmutation. I am the catalytic transformer of world consciousness and planetary living. I oversee the changes of the weather. I am the thunder that shatters your world systems. I am the transport of clouds filled with lightning to illuminate the truth behind your illusions. I am the bringer of the drenching rains that purifies. It was I who caused the triple Aztec monuments of the Avatar archetype to appear in the ancient temple grounds. I oversee the morning and the evening stars. I behold the creator of the fifth sun, the present world. Sent forth am I to dwell among you, calling forth the sixth sun. For the great regeneration of the world's soul, to know me is to know your own power of self-generation. To know me is to know your own power of self-generation. Self-generation is power. I am the transport of clouds filled with lightning to illuminate the truth behind your illusions. I am the bringer of the drenching rains that purifies.
All right, greetings in Lakesh. Welcome to Sync Talk. Synchronicity Talk is part of the Synchronistic Human, where we have the Synchronistic Human School of Enlightenment. And we're going to go over our topic. One of our topics today that we're going to talk about is the fear of the unknown. And it can really cause a lot of issues, this fear of the unknown, because what we don't know and that we may think we're afraid of, it may cause us to really withdraw and procrastinate and things of those natures. And we want to alleviate the fear of the unknown. And it's just real simple. Let's make what's unknown known. Let's make what's unknown known. And then we realize, well, what do we have to be afraid of? What do we really have to be afraid of? Okay, so let's get on into it. I want to welcome everyone who's listening. The power of synchronicity refers to the underlying cosmic intelligence that synchronizes people. Now, I want to use this word. I want to exchange this word for another word. Magnetizes. Okay, magnetizes and synchronizes people. Because not only does it get people together, places and things together, it brings them into your experience. Okay? So it synchronizes people, places, and events in a meaningful and purposeful order. We experience synchronicity when an outer event corresponds with our inner thoughts, and we can acknowledge that, perceptions or feelings. All right? So that's kind of what we're working with. Remember, who owns your time owns your mind. Change your time and change your mind. What are we talking about here? That time is not a consciousness lock. We call a clock. Time is the evolution of consciousness. So that means that we have to evolve our consciousness to move beyond where we are. Change your mind and change your world. Evolve your mind and evolve your world. We are winding down. We are in the 13th moon, the cosmic moon. And with the cosmic moon of endurance, we have a couple of heptads left before we move into a whole new cycle. So right now we're in the white overtone wizard solar year, solar cycle, the power of timelessness, unlimited, unending evolution of consciousness. Let's go ahead with the prayer of the 7 galactic directions to bring our energy and our spirit into vibrational alignment. From the east, house of light, may wisdom dawn in us so we may see all things in clarity. From the north, house of night, may wisdom ripen in us so we may know all from within. From the west, house of transformation, may wisdom be transformed into right action so we may do what must be done. From the south, house of the eternal sun, may right action reap the harvest so we may enjoy the fruit of planetary being. From above, house of heaven, where star people and ancestors gather, may their blessings come to us now. From below, house of earth, may the heartbeat of her crystal core bless us with harmonies to end all war. And from the center, galactic source, which is everywhere at once, may everything be known as the light of mutual love. Ayum Hunapku Eva Maya E Maho. Ayum Hunapku Eva Maya E Maho. Ayum Hunapku Eva Maya E Maho. All hail the harmony of mind and nature. Ashe, Ashe, and Asheo. All right. Okay, so and we look at that prayer and we bring things into vibrational alignment. This session is more about understanding cosmic cycles and how they're working on our behalf. As we discover this, that the moon has 13 cycles that are 28 days each, and 1 day at a time where everything sets itself back into motion. So 13 times 28 is 364. 1 day at a time is 365. And we now repeat that cycle over and over again. These are evolutionary cycles that help us realize our galactic purpose. So we're in the white overtone wizard solar cycle of timelessness and supreme receptivity. We're in the cosmic turtle moon of endurance in the what we call the second heptad, the second set of 7 days. Hepta means 7, where humility refines meditation, right? The question that this moon asks is, how do I expand my joy and love? The plasma is Celio, which is the 14th, in the 14th position out of 28, and is connected to the heart chakra. Okay, so we have 7 energy centers in our brain, corpus callosum. They're called radioplasmas. And we also, and each one connects with a chakra. So Celio is in the middle, and it connects with the heart, and it opens up what we call the hollow mind or the whole mind perceiver. All right, for us to be able to operate from the consciousness of the whole mind or see ourselves in that perspective. All right, very powerful to be able to do. Okay, so we have started what's called a new galactic spin. That means we're on a new cycle of 260 days. So that's where the 260 kin come from. The total kin, the Zolkin, the 260 faces or expressions of the creator. You can see right here, we're on kin number 3, right? 710, kin number 3. And kin number 3 synchronizes the energy with the 14th plasma we call Celio. And that energy opens up our mind to access our cosmic memory and evolve spiritually. Every time we access our cosmic memory and we're able to access higher states of consciousness, we evolve spiritually. All right, so kin 3, the blue electric night, the activation, the affirmation reads as follows: I activate in order to dream, bonding intuition. I seal the input of abundance with the electric tone of service. I am guided by the power of accomplishment. We say this 3 times to imprint it in our mind and heart and lock it in. I activate in order to dream, bonding intuition. I seal the input of abundance with the electric tone of service. I am guided by the power of accomplishment. One more time. 2, lock it in. I activate in order to dream, bonding intuition. I seal the input of abundance with the electric tone of service. I am guided by the power of accomplishment. Ashe, Ashe, and Asheo. So what are we activating? We're activating the birth of a new consciousness and a new being. That's what the dragon wave spell or cycle of evolution is showing us, that we are the energy that we're tapping into. And so with that, we are bonding, right? We are connected to our intuition. Now, how many of us, we don't listen to our intuition? Our intuition tells us to go into the area that we're not familiar with, or fear of the unknown. And fear oftentimes takes power over intuition. And fear, of course, is an illusion. It's self-impediment. It's self-created. So the intuition comes from God, and something makes us think, something messes with our thought process. It makes us think that the fear of something is more powerful than the intuition that comes from the unlimited source of power we call God in us. And so we have to go through that logical expression to understand just how ludicrous that sounds before we let fear stop us. I seal the input of abundance. So the abundance has already been put in. So if that's the case, why are we looking outside of ourselves for the abundance? Everything that we see on the outside is a reflection from the inside. All right. With the electric tone of service. So what are you willing to be a servant for? What are you willing to be a servant leader for? And I'm guided by the power of accomplishment on this, Ken, because if you're not accomplishing things, then your dreams are null and void. I'm going to repeat that. If you're not accomplishing things, if you just doing to be doing, if you're just being busy to be busy, if you're just showing up to show up and not accomplishing anything, your dreams are null and void. And psychologically, you're going to get to the point where you can't even receive intuition, even if it's going to save your life. It ain't going to work, because once we let fear conquer intuition, the power of intuition, we're going to let the habits that go along with that fear dictate our life. And so there has to be an intervention at that point. There has to be something to really significantly disrupt that complex thought pattern that was created for you to snap out of it. Because accomplishment is part of the process of the dream. Let's look at what it says. I am the dreamer, coded by the blue knight. I enter your universe through the third gate of light. There's always going to be some light around. My number is 3, activating and bonding the dream. The infinite reaches of the starry night is my dwelling place. That's consciousness. We dwelling in consciousness so that we can take what's in consciousness and bring it into the body and experience this on the physical plane. All right. So on the starry night is my dwelling place. Abundance is my nature. Intuition is my guide. I serve all dreamers with divine remembrance. Right? Undivided is divine remembrance and inspiration of cosmic truth. Cosmic truth is synonymous with the absolute truth. There is no one who can live without me, for there is no one who does not dream, even if you don't remember them. My dream is the truth within the dream. When I come to you, do not doubt me, for I bring the memory of the great dreaming of earth. When the tribes of time dream themselves human and the humans dream the dream of free will, there is always a message I bring just for you that only you can unlock. Listen to me and know for yourself the endless rainbow dreaming world of majestical splendor. Ashe, the dreamer. The dreamer is an archetype. The dreamer is showing you how to explore the consciousness of the starry night, the cosmos of the beginning as the alpha and the omega as it evolves into more and more galaxies. And it's the same thing that you are evolving. The cells in your body are evolving as the cosmos is evolving. Same thing. Different dimension, right? So let's look at it. This archetype is the third archetype of 20. So how many archetypes are there? 20. So somebody asked you and you knew, hey, yeah, I heard you was listening to that stuff Neb Teharka talking about. Yeah, how many archetypes are there? 20. 20 is the number of totality. The 20 count. It's part of the vigesimal mathematics system. All right. So let's look at some of the qualities of the blue knight. Journey into self stillness. Here's a good one. Dream exploration and mystery. Now, stillness is key. Because sometimes when you moving and everything else is moving, you can't think. I heard it best once says, man's greatest inability, greatest downfall is his inability to think. Okay, so that's not excluding the woman. That's just how I heard the quote. So what happens when you have an inability to think? Their fears rise up. Anxiety rises up against you, right? Look at what it says. Journey into self. A lot of people, when they look in the mirror, they're afraid to journey into the self. And so those who have the courage to take a journey into self will never be afraid of the unknown once you take that journey, because you know that the self is unlimited in power. So whatever you come in contact with that you don't know right now that becomes known, you'll know it don't have any power over you. So if you know, whether you know it or not, you go into the unknown, and you go into this unknown, and this is the way you're being guided to by your intuition, and your intuition tells you to go this way, and your ego is going, and fear is going to tell you to go this other way. No, intuition says, no, you need to go in here. And you'll realize that the unknown, no matter what it is, does not have any power over who you are. And that's a great discovery. So even if you are afraid of the unknown, go into it anyway. And what you will discover, this is some of the things you'll say, it's not so bad. It's not as bad as I thought. This is what you're going to say. Man, I'm glad I went ahead and did that. I thought it was going to be a lot more difficult, because fear lowers your consciousness and enlightenment advances your consciousness. So when intuition speaks to you and says, hey, go into this area, go into this uncharted region, and you're afraid, right? And you go anyway, now you realize something. So what is this conference? These are the qualities of the blue knight. Let's look at the shadow wisdom. Fear of change, self-judgment, right? So you know why we don't change? Because we're afraid of the unknown. We're afraid of what we think is going to happen. You know, you ever had to make a tough decision and you're afraid to make it because you don't have a replacement? You don't know you're in a relationship and you're like, I don't know if I should end this relationship. I don't know who I would be able to connect with, or if I want to connect, or how that changes everything. Well, all you have to know is that you're not having any peace. So what could be worse than not having any peace? So you have to move forward and know and trust the self, trust the power from within, the journey into self, and know that that has power and precedence over whatever you think could be difficult for you. So fear of change, and look at this, self-judgment. Now, if you have unlimited power in you, what sense do it make to judge yourself? And it's every time we judge ourselves, we reduce our power. Okay? So when we have a difficult situation and we say, man, I shouldn't have did that. That's self-judgment. No, it's over with now. You did it. What did you discover from it? Is the question. I know that there's a reason that I went that way, even though I may have been in an error. I may have erred in judgment. So usually self-judgment comes from an error in judgment. Okay? But a lot of times, when we look at this, fear of change is synonymous with the fear of the unknown. And a lot of times, fear of the unknown comes from, watch this, the fear of abandonment. Because we're afraid that we're not going to be supported like we're being now. So anytime we try something new, we got that fear in the back of our head. And at some point, the fear of abandonment, that everything is going to come crashing down on you. You're not going to have any support. You're going to have to do this, that, and the other. And you know flat out that you got unlimited power in you. And we're thinking that we ain't going to have no support. Well, what about the unlimited power in you? So when you got to make changes, and you got to make changes for the better in your life, how many of you have to make some changes, and there's some difficult situations and some difficult decisions that got to be made? And you're afraid to make them because you don't want to be in a worse position than you are now. You don't want to look bad. I say, most folks would rather look good and lose versus look bad and win. Right? So what are we doing here? What the fear of the unknown can be a springboard for you to put yourself in a position to develop new skills, to put yourself in a position to be able to overcome adversity. And everything I could name that comes out of this may be challenging, but everything that challenges you is an opportunity for you to get better, stronger, faster in areas. So when you come back around that mountain, you're better equipped than you were before. So how do you lose in that situation? Because a lot of us are trained to say, hey, if I'm getting better spiritually, that means everything should be getting easier. And that may not be the case. Right? Everything may not get easier. And oftentimes easier don't make you better. Easier makes your ego say, well, let me just see who's going to be working for me. Right? Everything come easy. You have an entitlement mentality, and that's okay too. There's a role for that. But I'm telling you, be open to the fear of change. Be open to being able to address your fear of the unknown. You don't even know why you're afraid of something that you don't even know. You don't know what you don't even know. We call that unconscious incompetence. You don't even know that you don't even know, and we're afraid. So now that's when we can move into the state of conscious incompetence. That means we realize we don't know. And that right there is the greatest opportunity to learn. That's the greatest stage of learning, is conscious incompetence. When you become aware that, hey, I don't know everything. I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to go and conquer some mountains. All right. So we got to be real careful. The shadow wisdom, fear of change, self-doubt, fear of the unknown is taking us into a place to conquer that, not to be conquered by it. All right. So look at what it says in the shadow transformation. Embrace and follow your inner shadow process to learn from their gifts. So that's what we just talked about. Those items are gifts for you to advance yourself in this evolutionary trajectory. That's what it is. So now when we really, this knowledge is like swimming in the Pacific Ocean. No matter how hard you swim, all you see is more ocean. All you see is more to learn, right? So these fear of change, as soon as you become aware of that self-judgment, they are huge opportunities for you to advance yourself. It don't feel like that, but that's what's happening. So embrace and follow your inner shadow process to learn from their gifts. And once you learn from your gifts, do you advance or do you recede? Right? Do you advance? Yes. Because one of the things people lack is experience. Right? Experience. So we have a idea about something, a concept, right? A framework, a model, and a system. And so when we're trying to bring something together, we got an idea. We're excited about the idea. And then we have a concept. And then when we try to do the framework, it don't work. So we get afraid and disillusioned. We don't have the concept down yet. We have a misconception. We've missed the concept. And so the concept is how the idea works. The framework is technically how it works together so that you can build something with it. And so when we follow and embrace and follow our inner shadow process, we learn the concept through experience in such a way that that experience and knowledge can never be taken from you. It's a treasure. It's a gem. Ashe? All right. All right. So what are some of your questions about how to deal with the fear of the unknown? So put those in the chat. While we're going through that, I want to make an announcement for tomorrow. Tomorrow is our New Kin orientation. So if you're new to this, you can plug in with us tomorrow. We'll be featuring a very prominent individual in our organization, Moon Goddess Ambrosia, and she's going to be going over, all right, the third heptad of the New Kin orientation. What does that mean? Well, the third, we break it down into 4 parts so it's digestible. So this is going to be really powerful because we're going to be talking about the mental body that challenges us to remember. So we have 5 bodies: the soul, the physical, the spirit guide, the intellectual body that we call the occult body, right? That challenges us to remember. And when we remember, it becomes our gift. And then we have the emotional body. That's the hidden unexpected factor. That's going to be the 4th week. And every moon, we're going to go through these 4 phases so that people have a great foundation on how this works. Okay? This cosmology works, because once you understand how it works, you'll understand how you work in terms of synchronicity. And when you get there, then you see how things can automatically happen. And when they don't, you're blocking it somehow. And then now you have to get you out the way. All right. So New Kin orientation. Then on Sunday, we're going to have accomplish your vision and heal your mind. So look at what it says, accomplish, right? So this is going to be on Kin 7, the blue resident hand. right? Accomplish your vision. So that you got to do that first. And then you're going to realize how to heal your mind in that process, because your thought process is going to change. So you definitely want to be a part of that on Sunday at 10:30. We got a couple more Sundays where we're going to have this, and it's going to be open to the public, and then it's going to be closed to the members. So you either need to be a member or get your last, few in, last couple in before we end this cycle on the 24th of July. July is July. All right. And the membership. The membership is, once you dive into it, is a great way to get familiar with the cosmology and get the lingo through the law of time basics. And we talk about the Gregorian calendar, the fallacies with the Gregorian calendar, how it's affected our consciousness, the 13 moon calendar, how that works, what heptads are, radioplasmas, what is the destiny cross, and there's some more teachings in there to help introduce you to know some of these tools that can help you evolve very steadily in this process. Okay. All right. So definitely join us. And then we also have the Day Out of Time celebration coming up on July 25th. Then this is going to be very powerful. We're going to have a debt cancellation. It's going to be a day of culture and arts and celebration. You do not want to miss the Day Out of Time celebration to recharge your energy as everything resets itself. And then we start the new solar cycle according to the 13 moon calendar. All right. And then we're going to have an advanced discipline workshop for those who want to accelerate their pace of success from the 26th to the 28th. So we've got a lot going on to launch this new cycle. And if you want to be successful, if you want to be a top achiever, you want to do all these things, well, you definitely need to be there. All right. So let's get back to the questions. All right. We got a few questions. I saw some of them in the comments. So let's go up and post some of these questions so that we can address what we're dealing with. All right. Dreamy Pisces says, I have a comment. I had to work on changing my focus from focusing so much on me to focusing on being a service to others, from being open, from my open heart and showing love to others. Okay, excellent. And that redirected my mind away from imaginary fear. Okay, that's a great point. That's a great help. We're here to serve. Excellent point. Excellent. What are some exercises to push yourself into doing the right answer when you're experiencing fear? Push yourself into doing the right answer or the right thing. Well, let's go back. Exercises. Well, let's talk with self-talk. Self-talk is a reflection of a self-image. So when we're afraid of something of the unknown, then that means we don't know ourselves. If we knew ourselves, we know that it's nothing that we can't overcome. So some exercises that I use that pushes me into doing, right? So first, I'm not saying here that if there's everything that's unknown, you need to just jump into it. All right, there is a process. So let's just say you've been afraid to write a book, or you've been afraid to leave a relationship, or you've been afraid to leave a job and start a new career. You've been afraid to start a business. Okay, let's start there. The smart thing to do is really to evaluate and make a transitional plan. Get as much data as you can about, hey, what is it going to take to actually make this transition? Right? So you start going into the unknown and making what's unknown known. You start saying, oh, this is what it's going to take to do this. And these are the risk factors here. And okay, if I'm going to do that, then I'm going to have a backup plan for my children, or I'm going to have to do this. So what happens is you make a transitional plan, and that helps you move past it. Okay, that on paper, that don't make you do it yet, but at least you see, okay, this is how I'm approach going into this arena of the unknown. Okay, And then you have to evaluate the risk and say, is this the right thing for me now? Once you determine it's the right thing, this is the point that I'm talking about with people. They still are afraid. All right. They still are afraid to make a decision and move forward. And then there's another part of it. A lot of people, they just want to make a decision and snap their fingers and then everything is successful. And there is a skill set to being able to step into a position where you can step into something that's difficult or challenging and work through it. Because if you can do it for you, you can help other people do it. Okay. So doing the right thing, you got to evaluate to make sure that you're not just making an emotional decision. It's fear of the unknown. It's something that kind of intrigues you, but is it the right thing for you to do? Really? And so when you get to the point where you say, it's right for me to leave this job. It's right for me to leave this relationship. It's right for me to start a new business. Okay. Now you need to have a plan. What do they say? If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Don't make any rash decisions. Come up with a plan. And I tell you, there's no unrealistic goals, just unrealistic plans. So that's how you're going to experience fear. But what happens, the plans and the knowledge helps you leverage the fear. Right. And then you say, you know what? Okay, I'm willing to face it. I'm willing to face it. So that's typical. Now, sometimes you get put in a position where you got to make a snap decision. So you can't be afraid under pressure to make a decision because it's going to take you out or you're going to take it out. So you have a decision to make. So sometimes we're faced with quick decisions that we got to make and we're afraid to make the decision. Well, that's when I just say, just do it. Just do it at that point, because your back is up against the wall. You got to make a decision. You got to make a play. And if you wait or don't make, indecision is a decision. Indecision means that you've chosen to actually lose when you had an opportunity to win. Right? So I don't know about exercises, but I do like self-talk, and I do like affirmations to help me remember, wait a minute, I have power of God in me. What am I afraid of? Is that an absolute truth? That's another question I ask myself. Is what I'm afraid of an absolute truth? Okay. And oftentimes, they're not an absolute truth. And if it's not, then it makes it easier for you to conceptualize overcoming it. Okay. So music, color, medicine man, I hope that was helpful for your question. Where can we obtain these archetype descriptions? They're online. Yeah, if you Google them, they're all online. I mean, I just pull them offline and put them in a file. Yeah, but they're all on there. It's just a matter of Google them. From Lisa, 165. Let's look at this next. Oh, I like it. On this planet, we plant it, then we plant it. Yeah. This is like a seed, so we can grow. Okay. Good. I like that. I like that point. Very insightful. All right. But definitely we got to deal with this fear of the unknown, because it creates a lot of procrastination, and it allows you to stay where you are. So at some point we have to evaluate the risk and move forward and manage the consequences of our decisions and move forward. And let me tell you, I've always thought it was a good thing for me to take a chance on me. If I was going to bet on somebody, I would bet on me, because I put in the work. Now, it's different if you hadn't put in the work. So now you got to start putting in the work so you'll bet on yourself. Because if you're not willing to bet on yourself and you got unlimited power within you, how are you going to ever progress? How are you ever going to be able to take an ideal and a concept and turn it into something meaningful. Right? How are you ever going to be able to accomplish anything? You know? And so because this kin today is guided by accomplishment, you cannot let the fear of unknown stop you from accomplishing the things that you have the ability to accomplish. You can't do it. You're cheating yourself and you're cheating countless other people at the same time by not stepping into your light. All right. So definitely, you know, and I would like, you know, people email me, talk to me about, you know, some of the fears that you overcame dealing with the unknown, and watch how your confidence builds. Watch how it builds, and watch how when you start doing stuff, they'll be like, man, so and so ain't afraid of nothing. Okay, but you got to get your mind right, or else it will snuff you. You'll be sick. Fear, and here's something else before we go. Fear is anything that stops you. The only reason why you're not moving forward is because you're afraid. Hesitating. Because you're afraid. What are you afraid of? The work? Messing up? Which means it's the fear of criticism. Unknown. Am I going to be isolated and feel abandoned? This is where your feelings, you know, they're not absolute truth. That you don't even know if your feelings are correct, because they might be based on something false. It might be based on an illusion, and that's what's making you afraid. But you're going to miss your opportunities to prosper in your health, in your relationships, and in your finances by being afraid of the unknown. Right? And then guess what? If it don't turn out, you just got a lesson, and you can move forward and say, hey, I did that. I would do things a little bit different the next time so I could recognize my shortcomings. Ashe? All right. Ashe and Asheo. So we'll be right back here. Next time we'll be back on kin number 10, the white planetary dog, the compassionate one. And it's going to be great because we're going to be talking about love. Okay, so you definitely want to be on that session, because a lot of us, we haven't even been loved like we think. We don't even know what love is. We think we do, but we really don't. And so we're going to talk about it on Sync Talk next week, next heptad, so everybody can discover that for themselves first. And then everything follows suit from there. So I'm looking forward to it. Definitely reach out to me if you are new to this and you need some information and knowledge on how to orient yourself. I'd be glad to speak with you to help show you how this can support your evolutionary process. And of course, if you don't want to evolve, then you probably shouldn't email me, because I don't have the question. I don't want to support you not want to evolve, but the people that do want to evolve, I do want to provide some tools that may help you like it helped me. All right. So with that being said, thanks for watching. In Lakesh, I am another you. Alakim, you are another me. Hotep, Hetipu, and Namaste. And remember, whatever we're going through, evolution is the solution. Peace.
It's just different.
I am the world changer, coded by the blue storm. My number is 19, the power of all number. I am the master alchemist, the force behind the philosopher's stone. Skilled at the art of transmutation. I am the catalytic transformer of world consciousness and planetary living. I oversee the changes of the weather. I am the thunder that shatters your world systems. I am the transport of clouds filled with lightning. to illuminate the truth behind your illusions. I am the bringer of the drenching rains that purifies, It was I who caused the triple Aztec monuments of the Avatar archetype to appear in the ancient temple grounds. I oversee the morning and the evening stars. I behold the creator of the fifth sun, the present world. Sent forth am I to dwell among you, calling forth the sixth sun. For the great regeneration of the world's soul, to know me is to know your own power of self-generation. To know me is to know your own power of self-generation. Self-generation is power. I am the transport of clouds filled with lightning to illuminate the truth behind your illusions. I am the bringer of the drenching rains that purifies,